finally we're getting put back into these higher ranked lobbies. Hey guys, and welcome along to another video. If this is your first time here and you are watching all sorts of GT Sport related stuff, subscribe now and click the bell icon so you get notified of every video I upload and you don't miss a thing. So you join me outbraking myself into turn 1 at Monza. We're in the FIA Manufacturers race today. We've got 8 laps in Group 4. So we didn't have a particularly great qualifying session. We found ourselves down in 15th on the grid. But we've already made up the place so far, which is good, and also I'm not too worried about it because as you can see from some of the guys in first, second and third, we've got some decent guys in this lobby. We've got Matu79 in front, we've also got Dennis Derulo in position number 2. To be honest, I don't know who Dennis Derulo is, I just wanted to say Dennis Derulo. But anyway, now that I've got that out of the way, as I was saying, this is a much stronger lobby. I'm much happier to be back in these stronger lobbies. The winner of this race is going to get 2,500 championship points. Now, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near that as somebody goes past and serves their penalty there. But if we get in the top 10, we're going to get well above 1,000 points. So if I can get into the top 10, then I'll be happy with that. The strategy I'm going to try and achieve this with is a 5 and 3 split, and as you can see I've got mediums on the front and softs. Whoa, let's try and avoid this guy. Softs on the rear as we go up to 12th place there. The reason for that is that the softs actually degrade, I find, with this car and this brake balance setup, which is 2 to the, I think it's rear, plus 2. But either way, it means that they both disintegrate at the same rate and wear at the same rate, which means I may as well have the softs on the rear, which will allow me to get a better amount of traction out of the corners here at Monza. So definitely go and check that out if that's something that you haven't tried yet. So now we're up to 11th. Just going to be extra careful and try not to outbrake myself again coming into turn number 2. The SLS has done so and he's going to punt him right across the chicane there. That's GT Boca Senzu there, and we're going to get a better run out of the first corners here, and hopefully we'll have the inside coming into turn number 3. We're going round Curva Grande here around the outside, which is going to give us, as we say, the inside into the third corner. Pick our braking point here because we have more of an acute angle, so we don't want to run wide in the second part of it. We've made the move stick and we're now up to 10th. We're going to head down into the first of the 2 Lesmos here, turns number 4 and 5, and you're going to see Boca Senzu is going to run wide coming out of the first Lesmo, and the Lamborghini is going to dive up the inside of him. That's going to bring us right into play as the guy in 7th place has to serve his penalty. We're going to have a run down the outside, but I'm going to get out of the throttle. I'm going to try and be smart, as 2 certainly does not go into 1 here at Violin. What I'm going to concentrate on is my exit, so if there's an opportunity we'll be able to get onto him coming down this back straight and hopefully put a move into Parabolica. That's not going to happen at this point. We're up to 9th now, and again I'm kind of just happy where we are, to be honest with you. I'm going to get out the throttle a little bit here because I don't want to be hitting anyone up the backside, but I feel that we're in a good place right now. We've got a good buffer to the guy in 10th place behind. I'm confident in our tyre strategy, so we're just going to sit tight for now and see what the race brings. As we go across the start-finish track to start lap number 3, you'll see that the Brit has actually already come in from his softs, so he's going to have a long old stint on whatever tyres he's put on. But as I say, I'm going to hang back, just chill out, make sure I do not get any penalties because the new penalty system is absolutely savage and I absolutely love it, and we're going to see if we can get this top 10 finish and get some decent championship and driver rating points. Fast forwarding to the lap ahead here, you'll see that Senzu has now got a fantastic run on the Lambo in front, and he's going to try and move down the outside here into Regia. That isn't going to work though, and he's actually going to just lose more time there, and we're going to close up quite a bit on the back of them. That's why it's not always worth going for the pass. The better move is to try and pressure them into making a mistake. As you're going to see here, the Lambo's going to go off, coming out of the first Degner, and lose a place coming into the second Degner. Now, I should listen to my own advice here, as I'm going to try it down the outside of this Lamborghini coming into turn number 7, which I said earlier was an absolute no-go, but for some reason in the race I tried it anyway, and we are going to pay the penalty for it here. As expected, I'm going to run wide here, just lose more time. Look how much Bocasenzu is up the road now. I shouldn't really have gone for it, and I'm now going to get pressure from the German behind. We're really in a race with the two up ahead here, ideally for 6th, so I don't want to lose a place here, especially when I've got one more lap after this before I come into the pits. So as you can see now, people are starting to come into the pits. The guy 6th comes in, the guy 7th comes in. I'm just going to steal some of his slipstream, and the guy behind us come in as well. So what that's going to mean for us is that we're going to have fresher tyres on the final lap, because they would have done one lap less than the guys who have just jumped in now. The key for me is to not lose too much time on this in lap with these tyres, which aren't looking too bad to be honest, so that we're close enough to the group who were around us, who have just jumped in the pits, to allow us to make a challenge in the final laps of the race with our fresher tyres. So as we come down the back straight towards Parabolica on our in lap, there's going to be a bit of contact here from the guy behind, which is going to push us wide. Amazingly, in the lobby afterwards, he accused me of blocking him. Very odd. But anyway, in the pits we go. No need for any fuel as with all the races in this championship, so just some new boots on. We've gone for softs here, and as you can see, that little bump probably cost us a couple of seconds. So these guys, whilst we wouldn't have been with them, are a little bit further down the road than they would have been, which is going to make our task that little bit harder. But saying that though, the German up in front's had some sort of issue, so we're a little bit closer to him. We've made up a bit of time there, and we've got 3 laps to try and catch him. So we've actually jumped ahead now, and as you can see, the German has caught up with the 2 guys up in front, and he's taking us with him. Now the good thing is, hopefully those 3 will start battling, which means we can cruise up behind them and pick off any scraps that we might be able to get. The main thing that we might be able to benefit from with this is a penalty. So the new penalty system, this is the first time I've experienced it in FIA, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. I can't wait till they bring it back into the daily races. Especially on a track like this at Monza, it's just brilliant. So for those that don't know, they've got a new penalty system, which means if you get a penalty at any point, you cannot get rid of it by slowing down, and you must serve it automatically when you pass the zone. And the zone is marked and labelled, I should say, with 2 yellow markers either side, and you're going to see it in the latter part of this lap. So if I was to get a penalty here, you would have seen some people earlier in the video getting penalties. It'll instantly, as soon as you go through that gate, slam your brakes on until you get rid of that penalty, and it's just going to absolutely lose you a ton of time. So I really endorse it. Hopefully it will get rid of people who are bumping people for no reason and taking shortcuts. But as you can see, it's going to be just up here, these 2 yellow markers here. So overall, the new penalty system gets 2 thumbs up from me. So as I've been talking about the penalty system, we've cruised right up behind these 2 who are embroiled in the battle. So I'm going to brake a little bit earlier and concentrate on my exit here, as 2 does not go into 1, as you can see. So we're going to have the opportunity to go up the inside here. I'm going to give him as much room as possible, but there's going to be a bit of contact. He's off into the gravel. I'm not really sure if there was much I could do there, but either way, we are now up into 9th, 1 place ahead of where we wanted to be. And also the guy up ahead, you won't see it because this is in replay mode, but he has a 5-second penalty, so we have got 8th in the bag as he cannot get rid of it. As we said with the new penalty system, you cannot get rid of your penalty, so there'll be no braking before the finish line here. It just gets tacked onto your time and we come home to take 8th place. That result got us 1,466 championship points, and we're getting ever closer to getting back to A+. And that, guys, is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.